is indeed a blammo.
And there we go. We're live. Welcome back, everybody, to the Rookzer0 Draw channel. I don't even think that's what it's called. Today we're doing a live play. We're going to play some D&D. We're going to play some level 0 D&D.
Is it called playing if we just talk about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe not. Maybe it isn't really actually a live play if we're...
Isn't D&D basically just talking?
Today I am joined with Joonas and CaptJumprope. We are doing something a little different today. We are going to talk about our D&D characters for this level 0 campaign. I'm going to introduce everybody to the setting that we're going to be using for this, and we're going to be drawing stuff related to the game instead of our normal Discord shenanigan race. We have two lovely guests. I hope you both have dice. That might be important. Let's do a dice check real quick. So, for reference, because we are still setting this up, and this is going to be kind of an experimental episode, I do have the YouTube chat open, so if you want to talk to us or yell at us or say that we're playing D&D wrong, that's fine. It's over there in the YouTube chat. We're also going to be using the voice channel chat. People in the Discord want to join the live stream chat. They can. We just won't be able to hear you today while we're running the game. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce you both to the town of Siltstone. So this small mountain town has made a name for itself of prosperity and opportunity, once known for its deep mineral-rich mines, and now has become the quiet haven for farmers and merchants traveling from the likes of Old Town to Ironhold. There are four main staples of this small mountain town: the Iceflow River, the church, a large temple built more than a century ago to honor Sarenrae, long before the naming of the town. The mines themselves, all family-owned, allowed this town to grow and flourish. Throughout the generations since the town's inception, many have long since dried up and have been sold or abandoned. Finally, the Spider's Catch, a fairly large inn set in the center of town, capitalizing on Siltstone's position between the nearest port of Old Town and Ironhold, the next largest city over. The Spider's Catch is always busy. Its owner, Antic Coldfellow, has made a name for himself by always having a room to rent and some of the best ale available. He welcomes adventurers and always seems to have jobs posted for those looking, from anyone who needs coin or just adventure. And this, my friends, Jumprope and Joonas, is what has brought you to the town of Siltstone. You've arrived at the Squeaky Wheel. This store appears to be part adventuring shop and part tack and saddle. You've ridden in from wherever you hail from, most likely coming through the port at Old Town. And you've managed to hop a ride, find a horse, and you've ended up here at the Squeaky Wheel across the street from the Spider's Catch. This is going to be the fun part for you. I'd like to know what you are/look like.
Well, there's really nothing much to say. I'm a kobold. I look like a kobold. I sound like a kobold most of the time. Do I think like a kobold? Nobody knows except a kobold.
Nobody knows. Perfect. Jumprope, what about you? What do we see standing in front of the tack and saddle? What do we see in front of the Squeaky Wheel that is also a tack and saddle?
I am a half-elf woman. I have brown curly hair and green eyes. And that is that.
Okay.
Here for adventure.
You know, my weirdest first question is, how the hell did we meet?
That's a good question. Okay, cool. So we have Kobold. What was the Kobold's name? Which you have not introduced yourself yet, I guess. So maybe Jumprope doesn't know your name yet.
What is a good kobold name?
You could ask the chat, I guess. What's a good Kobold name?
Yes, chat, give me a kobold
We
name.
need a Kobold name.
I'm like waiting for Greg appear once more from that.
No, not, yeah.
He's gonna immediately yell, Greg. Yeah, there it is.
That's pretty good.
What would a kobold guessing a human name? Like if a kobold had to pick a stereotypical human name, what would it be?
My name's Greg!
I am Greg, and I was born in the caves of Dragon Mountain.
My name is Human Greg. That's my name, Human Greg. What?
Yes, my name is Greg. Let's go with Greg, I guess.
The other fun thing I'm going to do for this campaign is we have a tiny halfling or half elf? Half elf. Okay, we have a tiny half elf, brown hair, and then we have the small kobold, whose name is unknown to everybody, which is fine. For now, that's totally fine. Hopper's a good one. What I'm going to do for you, you have not rolled your stats yet. You do not have classes. You are level 0. And I'm going to gift you both an adventure kit, because I assume you have both decided to become adventurers. And the way we're going to run this, the adventure kit has everything you need in it to be an adventurer. And that sounds super powerful, and that's fine for right now. Basically, if you can think of something like, I think I would have brought 20 feet of rope. Cool. The way this is going to work, though, is as soon as you say that and I say that's fine, you have to write that down in your inventory or you're going to forget it. Does that make sense? So we're going to slowly build your adventuring kit as we play. And whether that's like I have pots and pans, I have a python, I have a compass. That's all. Just make it up as you go. We'll let it kind of be free form for a while, and eventually I'll say that's it. Like that's the only thing you have in your kit.
Right.
Beyond that, so basically, I don't want you to worry about like digging through an inventory right now.
Did I just randomly steal some poor drunk adventurer's adventuring gear?
I don't know. Did you?
Is that what you did?
Probably. Let's go with that.
Okay. So you also don't know what's in your adventuring pack yet.
No idea.
That's great. I like that.
You can decide.
Along with that, you have the one item you brought with you. And whether that is a weapon that you think, you know what, I'm going to be an adventurer and I'm going to take this with me, whatever this was. And so if you guys want to think about that, if you do want to think about that, go ahead, or if you already know what you want to do, perfect. And we will just build that with your character.
I think I also stole some adventurer's greatsword. Who knows?
You have a great sword? Okay, perfect.
I steal a lot of stuff.
We are learning this about your character. We have a thief. We have a thief kobold with a great sword, which I'm on board for. I want you to go ahead and roll me a dexterity check.
I rolled a 15.
At 15? Cool. Okay. That's your roll for the sleight of hand for you stealing that great sword.
All right.
Okay. I need you to roll 3d6 so we can determine your dexterity.
That's pretty bad. 15 again.
15 again? Well, okay. Great. Did you roll any ones? I don't think you did if you rolled 3 dice.
I did. No, I didn't.
Okay. Your dexterity is 15.
Excellent.
Which means that you had a +2, so you rolled a 17. You were able to steal this drunk soldier's greatsword and pack with no foreseeable consequences. You just walked up, took it, walked away.
Excellent. Let's see. The chat had a lot of nice names, though. Right?
Yeah, let's take a look at those. We have, let's see. Wait, that sounds familiar. Flick. Like a flick of the wrist. Flynn's a good one. His name is unknown. I'm unknown kobold. Adventurer.
The unknown clan.
Kobold has no name.
Kobold Shadow Jutsu.
The Kobold ninjutsu class. That'd be pretty great. I forgot. So I just now realized I've gotten so used in the live streams to repeating what everybody says. I don't need to do that anymore for this video. Yeah. I will try not to do that.
Done. You can hear me.
I will try not to reiterate.
Guff, Corbin, Kumak. Oh, there's so many.
Ooh, Guff's a good one. Guff, the buff kobold. With a dexterity of 15. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to take my own notes here.
I'm going to take Guff. I think I'm going to take Guff. You won this time, not? You still got me take a name which starts with G, so yeah. I saw letters Greg, but I was like, Guff! Because I couldn't read you.
And kobolds don't read good.
Yeah, kobolds don't read good. Or his name is still Greg, but he just pronounces it Guff, or he writes it down as Guff.
My name, Guff, is not the smartest of kobolds. Guff doesn't do anything well in life. Got kicked out of my own clan.
Hippo. And I will, because you did this. I won't do this every time. I'm going to give you sleight of hand. So we're going to give you a sleight of hand bonus.
Proficiency?
Yeah, we'll give you proficiency in sleight of hand.
Wow.
So you have a great sword. You have an adventurer's pack. Anything weird about your clothes? Are you wearing like a fur coat? Or like leather?
Did I teach you to steal his clothes as well?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Is there anything else, or is that pretty good?
I stole some sweet-looking grease from some random dude I found in the late night. Maybe he was dead or not, I don't know. I didn't check. I just was like, ooh, shiny, and took them.
So it sounds to me like you might have been hanging out in Old Town a little while ago, which is full of sailors and drunks and people spending money without having like a really good place to spend money because they don't want to drive all the way to Ironhold. So I'm going to assume you came from Old Town, which before that, that's up to you. But it sounds like you came through Old Town to get here. So that's part of your backstory.
I just run around. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Perfect.
But I'm doing something.
How about you, Jumprope? What did you bring with you?
I brought a long duster coat, almost like a cowboy hat. Although I don't know if there are cowboys in this world.
That's totally fine.
And I have a heavy crossbow and a limited number of bolts in my adventurers pack, so we'll have to keep track of that.
Okay, I would say you probably... Actually, let's just do it this way. You have 13 bolts, unless you want to roll a d20. I'll let you roll a d20 if you want. I'm giving you 13 otherwise. The gamble is yours.
13.
Okay.
I'll take 13.
That's totally fine. So you have a trench coat, a duster.
Mm-hmm.
You have your adventure pack. I'm going to go ahead and say because of your duster, you have a crossbow. We'll say a light crossbow for now, or do you want a heavy crossbow?
I think I took a light crossbow.
Okay, we'll say you have a light crossbow, and I'm going to go ahead and give you light leather armor, which is just leather armor. We'll count your duster as a leather armor.
Okay.
So, I think that's good. So you two are standing out front of the squeaky wheel across the street from the Spider's Catch. You've been dropped off in this dusty street with a few meager coins to your name. So you do have a little bit of gold, not a lot. And we're going to keep that really vague for the moment. You hear tales of great wealth and fortune here, and many of the travelers along the way, along your journey to here, were telling you stories about adventures and perils and beasts and monsters all around Siltstone. It's got a little bit of a history of just creepy things, and that's why adventurers kind of flock here.
Oh, kind of creepy.
What kind of creepy things you say? Well, there's been great tale of skeletons roaming the countryside at night, as well as a flaming horse seems to be seen on the hills just outside of town every now and again. But during the day, no one's been able to find it.
Ooh.
People start darting back and forth. A young man who brought you into town, one of the young men that brought you into the town by the docks, bids you a good day. And he said he's heading to the squeaky wheel to get his horses tuned up because, bumpy ride, not always the best thing. Some of the things you have heard because you were talking about it. There is someone at the church who's been looking for a band of adventurers for some great mission, which is not been described. No one seems to know what it is. You've also heard tales of an old man going missing, an eccentric old dwarf. You've heard that You've been warned to keep track of your items because some of them people have had things gone missing recently. Clothes and food mostly, but some tools. People have seen a few creatures, a few goblins, a few skeletons running around.
Yes.
Go ahead. What would you like to do?
Did we both come in on the same cart, or did we both just jump off at the same stop?
I would assume if you didn't both come in on the same cart, came in at the same time. So that's up to you two, whether or not how much of your journey you've spent beforehand. If you want to know each other already, that's fine as well.
I'm fine with either. So I'll leave it to CaptJumprope.
I don't think I came from Old Town, so I think I came on a different cart.
Alright.
But it sounds like there's work to be done, and all those things sound like you're pointing us towards the inn, so I'm going to head towards the inn.
So, since I don't know Jumpropes, I'm gonna follow them because they seem... That coat looks excellent. It looks nice on me.
Okay.
That's my only thought. So I was just gonna discreetly follow them into this. Or as discreetly.
As you slowly start crossing the street, you see a halfling girl wearing a bright leather clothes. It looks almost like an apron. Not quite armor, but it seems kind of padded. With large blacksmith gloves up to her hands. And she has about 8 knives just kind of stuck in her clothes in different places. Like, not like stabbed, but like stuck in her clothes. Kind of at different angles. And she says, welcome to Siltstone. And then she just like starts dazzling you with her hands, just moving around and just like waving at you. And then she pulls out one of the knives, and then she pulls out another one, and then they both fold into 2 more knives, and then she begins to juggle.
What?
There is now a small halfling girl juggling in front of you, blocking your door to the spider's catch. And she says, "You look new into town. Can I be of any assistance?" And she starts like juggling half the knives with one hand and just like flipping the other one around.
How much is she blocking the door with?
You could probably just walk past her, except that she's flailing knives about. I would also say that the people around you don't seem to care or notice that she's doing this. Maybe like she's done this a lot.
Done this a lot, eh? Me as a experienced thief, kobold, I shall ignore her.
You're just gonna walk past?
Yeah, I'm just gonna...
Okay, that's fine. Roll me a dexterity check.
Fuck.
We already know now you have a dexterity, which is good. 15.
Natural one.
Natural one? Okay. You kind of like, I gotta go, and you shuffle past her. And as you do, she kind of like, and just like starts bumbling the knives about. You do get hit by one of them. It doesn't hurt you. It's just kind of like, bink, bounces off you, and you then realize the knives are not sharp.
Right.
And she kind of like tumbles and drops all the knives, and she just like looks at you awkwardly for a second, and then just like starts picking them up and putting them back in her sleeves and like hiding them up her gloves. And she's like, my name's Shiva. How you doing? Can I help you? Can I show you around the city? And she's still doing this like weird jazzy hands thing, like trying to impress you with her movements.
I'm going to try and help her pick up the knives. Shiva.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say, hello, Shiva. My name's Mareena. I've heard several different things about this town, but you said that there's an old man that's... I've heard that there's an old man that's gone missing. Do you know anything about that?
An old man? And she kind of stops her jazz hands, and she's like, "Oh, you're adventurers. I'm sorry. I thought you were just like traveling people. You got some nice stuff. I was gonna, She starts like kind of doing the hands gesture again. She's like, tip, yeah, no, okay, that's fine, no, it's cool, okay.
I don't think I have any use for gold knives, thanks.
She's like, I'm a performer. I hear things. I do hear things. But if you're gonna be looking for stories about a missing old man, I think they're talking about old Hammond, but I haven't heard much more. You might want to talk to Antic. He's inside. He's my mentor. She like kind of winks at you.
Inside the inn?
Yeah. Oh, you're a weird fellow. And she kind of like gets up and closely looks at you. Do you have a tail, by the way? I assume you have a tail.
Of course I do.
Okay. So she's insanely fascinated with your tail. Just like, oh, that's crazy. I wish I had one of those. And she's like, I could juggle so many more. And she pulls out like two more knives and starts juggling them. Just kind of absent-mindedly. And she's pretty good. She's pretty good just juggling those 2 knives. And she's like, I could juggle so many more knives with if I had a tail. That'd be awesome. And she starts like, what color would you say this is? And she's asking about your scales. And she's getting like really touchy. She's just like,
my scale color? Oh shit. I'm like red.
Red? Cool. Okay.
Bordering pink, I guess. A really revealing color. I cannot ever stealth anywhere. You can see me a mile away.
Safety orange.
No.
So you've picked up these daggers. Roll me a perception check now that you're picking up the knives.
Okay, now comes the point where I need to decide which dice set is like quintessentially this character. I rolled a 19 on my dice.
Okay, you rolled a 19, so that's good. And now we'll go ahead and roll me for your wisdom stat. 3d6.
3d6, okay.
Do you need another d6?
No, I have them.
Okay.
I just threw one on the floor.
Reroll that one. And you can reroll ones.
I rolled 2 6s and a 4.
2 6s out of 4. Pretty good.
2 6s and a 4. That's
16. So it's plus 3.
9.
Okay, so you pick up these knives, and these knives look well made. But as you're looking at them, you realize that, one, they are not sharp at all. They're pointy, but they're not sharp. They're very well balanced, and they look really beat up, as if someone has been practicing a lot and dropping them a lot. And then as you hand them back, you do notice that while she is covered with these knives, these all look kind of like, they all look relatively the same. She does also have 2 very small daggers that look identical, but are pristine, unused, not beat up at all. So,
do those daggers also look ornate, or do they just look basic, like something that I could buy?
These look very meticulously made, like custom. They look like custom pieces. They do look very flashy. So most likely, you're pretty sure she's basically like a busker. She's just a performer. But there is something about, she does have these 2 daggers that are exactly the same look, but different. They are different than
her throwing knives.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, she just, like I said, she's not really wearing armor, but you think that maybe the puffy, leathery nature of her clothes might be because she's practicing with sharp knives all the time, or with these pointy objects that maybe she gets hit with. She seems to be maybe either new or just not the best knife juggler in the world.
Okay. So. I'm going to ask Shiva, will you show us around the spider's catch? We're obviously new in town, but I'm looking for work. It sounds like this job looking for Hammond would be helpful. But I don't know where I'm going.
The last people that went looking for Hammond still haven't come back yet, but I suppose that means there's room free. I'm just kidding. There's always a room free. Yeah, come on. I'll show you. I'll introduce you to Antic. He's, like I said, he's my mentor. And she, like, does the winky thing again, which she just keeps winking. Every time she says Antic, he's my mentor. She's like, yeah, great. And then she reaches out a hand as she's still juggling with 2 knives in the other hand.
I'm gonna look in my gold pouch. How much gold? I'd like to tip her.
Roll me 2d10.
2d10.
2d10. Not a d100, but 2d10.
So both of those rolled 10s. You can come check
Okay.
them.
Nope, that's fine. You have 10 gold, 10 silver.
Okay. I'll give her 1 of my gold.
Thank you. And she has the coin in one hand. Let's see if she can pull this off. She makes it vanish. It's not fantastical. Like, you're aware that it is a sleight of hand, but it's effective. She does okay. So she makes the coin vanish, and then she makes another knife appear, and she goes, da-da-da-da-da, and juggles those 3 for a second, and then just, like, one by one, they all vanish. And she's like, yeah! All right, let's go. And then she kind of hops up and leads you into the inn.
I'm gonna look back at the kobold and say, are you going to follow us then? Are you looking for work too?
Yeah. I'm still freaked
come
about
along.
the fact that the little kid just touched.
Go ahead and roll me a will save. Let's do that. So go ahead.
Which of us
9.
are you talking to?
A 9. Okay. Now go ahead and roll me 3d6.
Oh god. Oh, 2 1s.
Go ahead and re-roll your ones.
All right. 5 and a 1, so that's 9. I'm gonna reroll the last one. So that's 14.
14. That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's a lot of 1s. Jesus.
Yeah, that could be terrible. So you rolled an 11. So you don't freak out, but you don't like being touched apparently. So that's something to know. Don't touch my face.
From her winking all the time, can I get a feel for...
You want to do an insight check?
Kind of, yeah. Is she, like, what's with her and Antic? Is she into him?
Yeah, sure. Roll an insight check.
Okay, I already have my wisdom.
Already have your wisdom?
That is a total of 9. I didn't roll very well that time.
That's fine. You're not sure. It's weird. It's definitely weird because she's making it very apparent. Every time she says, like, he's my mentor. Every time she says his name. Antic, he's my mentor. Wink, 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 wink.
Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah. You're like,
yeah,
that's odd.
weirding me
But
out.
you can't really discern why it's odd.
I don't really pay attention to that because I don't really understand humanoids.
That's a fair point. All right, so she carries you. She picks you up and carries you into the.
Please don't touch me.
No, so she walks you over to the main door, and this is a large wooden door that is open. It's currently held open. Above the door, there is this large wooden placard. It is a big wooden sign. It has a picture of a spider on it, and on the back of the spider, there is a metal steel star, like a throwing star, attached to the top of it. It also has the name, The Spider's Catch, written very eloquently underneath it, and then below that, on a small sign, it says, on a separate sign hanging from below, Adventurers Welcome. You make your way into the Spider's Catch, and as you go in, you do hear the cacophony of jovial laughing, of people playing cards, of drinks being clinked, and people singing. And there's quite a bit of activity here. There's more people in here than you thought there would be for what it was outside. Right there, I think, is where we will end it for this episode of the Siltstone Adventures. Thanks again for watching. I'm Rookzer0, the DM. With me is CaptJumprope and Joonas. This is a little bit of an experimental game. We're most likely going to be playing Pathfinder. We're still on the edge about which system we are going to be using, as well as my first animatic type animation as an animator. So if you have comments and questions, I would love to hear them. Please put them down below. And I know there's an issue with Jumprope's audio. That will be fixed hopefully in the next few episodes. But for right now, please, any constructive criticism is absolutely welcome. I love this idea of doing a small animation for this game, and we're going to keep doing that in the future, I hope. So thank you again for watching, and as always, comments, likes, and subscribes helps out a bunch, and we'll catch you next time. Be happy, be healthy, and remember to keep your dice on the table.